welcome back to this Move, Sweat and Suffer podcast. You've only got one of the co-founders, which is myself today. Unfortunately, Lee Hazard can't make it today due to work, but today we have another amazing guest. They've all been incredible and fantastic, and today's just another one of those by the name of Mr. Tone Irving, or Tone Irv, he goes by on his YouTube channel, which we'll talk about and put in the show notes later. Bro, it's a privilege to have you on, man. Thank you very much for making time today.
Oh, thanks, man. I'm honoured. Pleasure's all mine.
Mate, too kind, very humble. Bro, I guess I want to jump into Lee sends his apologies, obviously with work, but he sent me through some questions and stuff, which we'll get into. I'll get to those. But maybe, if you wouldn't mind, Tone, could you give us a bit of a background about yourself, where you're from originally? Because obviously you got this accent, but you're living in Australia from what I understand. But maybe if you could just walk us through that, where it all began for you and how you ended up in Australia and what you do.
So I was born in Kent on the Isle of Sheppey, which is a little island off the mainland of England.
Right.
It's like about an hour's drive from London. I grew up there until I think I was like 19 or 20 when a friend of mine was talking about traveling the world, and we decided to do a bit of backpacking. That's when I first came to Australia.
Yeah.
We travelled around Australia first, and about 7 months in, I met a girl there, a Dutch girl, and she was only out for like a month. She was supposed to just be travelling for a month and then go home and move in with her boyfriend. But yeah, we got on really well, and she decided to call her boyfriend and say that she's going to not come home and instead break up and carry on travelling with me. And we carried on travelling through Asia together, and she ended up taking me back home to meet her parents and everything. And luckily for both of us, her dad was originally born in Australia, so she had 2 passports, and within 2 years of meeting each other, we tied the knot and decided that we wanted to come back and live in Australia. And we lived in Sydney for about 7 years. I might be jumping a bit far out.
No, that's all right. All good. You're painting a good picture so far, so yeah, carry on.
Cool. Lived in Sydney for about 7 years. My wife started to study nursing. I started studying childcare and worked in the childcare industry. And before long, Sydney's such a busy place, and we just wanted to get out of the rat race. Like we ended up camping frequently, and every time we came back from a camping trip, it's like everything had just sped up more and more. And I knew something bad was going to happen. Like, I didn't know COVID exactly, but I thought just being around this number of people in this busy place, like, I think we need to get out. So after about 7 years, we decided to move up north, and now I'm in a little place called Jigai, which never heard of before. It's kind of just out in the bush, and we're self-sufficient for the most part.
Yep.
We pump our own water and got solar power and stuff, and try to grow our own food. And
nice.
It's hard work, but
I bet
it's better than the city for now, anyway.
Awesome, man. That's so cool. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, no, go on, man.
All right. So I was going to ask you, because there's quite a lot in there which I want to sort of jump back to. But obviously you swept her off her feet, and you guys ended up together. And you have a young family, children.
Yeah, I've got a 3-year-old, and my wife's pregnant now. We're going to have a baby girl in February.
Congratulations to you guys,
thanks, man.
That's awesome. Too much. So a young son, 3-year-old. Oh, actually, I've seen him in the videos, and the dog who likes to always get in there.
Yeah, bloody dog, man.
Mate, I love all of that stuff, and obviously you've got a keen music interest, and you're very talented on the guitar as well. How did that come about? Was that something early on, or just picked up?
I met a guy when I was backpacking who had a little acoustic guitar, and he was just such a cool guy, you know. Like he just started showing me a few chords and stuff, and But when I get into something, I get quite obsessed, you know. Like
Yeah.
when, yeah, it's the same with the burpees and that. Like
Yeah.
when I decide that that's what I want to do, I've got like an
That's
addictive
it.
personality, I suppose.
Nice.
So yeah, since meeting him, and I was just picking his brain and getting him to teach me everything, and I got my own guitar, and it just never left my side. Like I just play all the time,
Yeah.
and that lasted for like probably like 10 years or something. That was just constantly on the guitar.
Wow. Are you singing as well, or?
Nah, I wish I could, but
Yeah.
I'm not even confident talking, to be honest, let alone
Yeah.
singing. So yeah,
I was going to ask you about that because I noticed, and it's been great too, by the way. So we'll jump back and forth. Don't worry, I jump back and forwards as well.
Yeah.
But it's been great to see you speaking more on your videos, man. It's I think, well, for me, it's helped me anyway feel a better connection to you personally, because I'd seen your stuff earlier, but I have to admit, when I saw them, I was like, man, that's awesome. This guy's pumping out the reps. But because there wasn't, in your earlier videos, there wasn't like any sort of nothing to communicate back and forth. So I was like, oh, okay, that looks cool. And then I'd move on. But now, for me anyway, and I find when I'm hearing you speak and when you're giving tips or advice, or you're talking about some of the things, one of the ones that I remember you spoke about, after a job, and then your boss would send you for one more quick job, at the end of the day, and you'd be a little bit annoyed, but then you tied that into doing those extra 10 reps or whatever it was at the end of your session. And I don't remember all the exact words, but it sort of had that information in it, but I resonated with that. I could connect with that and go, oh yeah, like, pushing beyond what you think you're capable of doing was what I was taking away from it. And it was really pleasing for me. So it's been great to see you come out of your shell, I guess, a little bit more, and you even spoke to that in one of your videos, about speaking a bit more. But I can still see that for you at the moment, it doesn't seem quite as comfortable as where you'd like it to be yet, but it's definitely getting there. So how have you felt, and do you feel like it's getting better for you?
Yeah, it's getting better, but I feel I should probably think about what I'm going to say before I press record. 'Cause, I mean, it's just having the time. Like, just thinking about the workout takes up enough time, and I'm in that mode. I just working out. I don't want to be talking, So maybe if I structure it a little bit better and think about what I'm going to say before I hit record, that might help. But yeah, I mean, it's getting easier. If you practice something, you're going to get better at it. But it just takes time with me. And yeah.
Awesome.
But, thanks, man. Like, I'm glad you're finding it better that I'm talking rather than worse.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I enjoy it, and I think I don't know that we need to prepare anything, because I think what also intrigues and draws me in is that it's just happening literally right there and then. It's authentic and it's real, and hey, you might let out an F-bomb, or you might swear or say something, but then you carry on. But for me anyway, my take on it is I like that. I like the rawness and authenticity of it, and that it's just happening in a natural state, that it's not scripted, much like this podcast.
Yeah.
Which is quite off the cuff, but it's enjoyable anyway. Lee and I are really enjoying it. I know we had some stuff for you, which I will get into asking, but it's great to hear that you're feeling more comfortable with it. It appears to be that you're getting more comfortable with it, and the work that you put in then speaks for itself. Yeah. So before we get into the burpees and training and your training background, which is one of Lee's first questions, which I'll get you to answer soon, but so your wife is working as a nurse?
Yeah. Yep.
And you're in childcare, did you say?
Yeah.
Right, and you're working childcare at the moment?
Well, I quit my job when my boy turned 1, and my wife went back to work. And since then, it's kind of been like a daddy daycare sort of thing. I have him like 4 or 5 times a week, and the rest of the time I'm renovating the house, because the house we bought out here is like 100 years old. It's just a little cottage made of wood, and the community built it, so there's no like building regulations or anything. Like, it needs a lot of work. And I did do some kind of building work back in England. Like, growing up, I was on construction sites and factories and stuff. So I've got a little bit of knowledge, but a lot of it's beyond me. So I'm making a lot of mistakes, spending more money than I need to. But it's getting. But
you're doing it yourself, eh?
Yeah,
you're doing pretty much. Man, and so how are you going about that? Like, obviously you've got some of that knowledge that you've gained from when you were working construction and stuff. do you just jump on and have a look if you're unsure on YouTube and then go and do it, get the stuff and then do it? Is that
Yeah,
part of what you've been doing?
there's a lot of YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah,
my father-in-law's a good builder, so I pick his brain from
nice.
time to time. But like I say, it's just making mistakes as well. It's just like trying stuff out, and yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of trial and error.
wicked,
Eventually,
man.
it gets right.
Yeah, well, the gym of yours, so that's part of your house, I'm guessing, that you've built. You've done up that area where the gym is now.
Yeah, that was like an extension of a working
Yeah,
shed, and it
gotcha.
was just a shithole, really. Like, yeah, it had no love put into it at all, and so I had to tear the whole thing down and start from scratch. So it was just a
Wow.
concrete slab.
Mate, that's awesome. It
Yeah,
looks fantastic now.
yeah, it looks really cool. I'm really happy with it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And so that's the dedicated gym space now where you moved,
Ah.
you've migrated all the stuff, or?
Yeah, I'd like it to be, but
Yeah.
my wife says it's also a guest house. So when guests come, I've got to move everything out of there, and
All right.
which means
That's a
taking
mission,
the rack
man.
down. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know, man. Yeah, but I'm trying to talk her out of it. Yeah, I think we have to build another guest house somewhere.
True. Well, you got a beautiful piece of land there where I see when you're doing some of your sessions and stuff outside. How big is the land area you got?
Ours is only like 2/3. It's not.
Yeah,
It's
right.
not massive, but it's big enough. Like when
Yeah.
you've got a mow of grass.
Yeah.
But we're surrounded by acreage of where it's just it's just paddocks,
Awesome.
and we've got access to that as well. So yeah, some just been out in the paddock,
Duck
take
out
a
in the
mat
paddock.
with me, and yeah.
Yeah. No, nice. Oh well, I'm going to jump into Lee's first question before I jump in. He has got his typical Lee Hazard fashion. He's got some other pearlers in there for you to, which we'll no doubt have a bit of a laugh at. But his first one is quite a modest, well, not modest, but well, it's a good one to start with anyway. So he's really keen, and so am I. Can you tell us about your training background? What is it? Where's it come from? Because I see the punching bag up. I see you hit the bag every now and then sometimes as well, the stuff that you're doing in between rounds, and the EMOM, the latest EMOM that I've seen. But what is your training background? Where's that stem from?
All right. Well, I think I must have been like 5 or 6 when that same sort of obsession, but with basketball. Like I was just in love with basketball. To the point where I remember being a kid, like going on holiday, and there was no basketball court or anything, and I was happy enough just bending a wire coat hanger into a hoop, sticking it in the door, and throwing some socks through it, like for hours. And I kept playing basketball up until probably about 15, 16. But I used to go to like Nike training camps where you'd stay for like 1 or 2 weeks, and that was like
Awesome.
pretty intense training that's the first time I did anything sort of intense, because we'd just be playing, running around from 6 in the morning till 10 o'clock at night, just constantly at it. But I never got taller. Like I swear, I stopped growing when I was like 12, so I'm only like 5'7" or 5'8" maybe. I was never really tall enough to make it much further. And then I suppose around 15, 16, I did a little bit of boxing training. Not for too long, probably like 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
But it's like a weekly thing. And again, that was intense training. Like we used to do a lot of circuit training and a lot of running. And I was trying to think, when I did my first burpee, I may have done burpees during that boxing training.
Yeah. As a punishment, was it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so again, I didn't really do much more than training, a few spars and stuff.
Yeah.
And then kind of started lifting weights, but not with any intelligence, just wanting to be, muscly and, attract girls and stuff at that age,
Yep.
testosterone flowing. And I kept getting injured, I'd injure my shoulder. I remember going down the gym once and trying to do some squats, not knowing what I was doing. And this big guy came over and putting weights on and just making me squat more and more. And I was just going, yeah, all right, like trying my best. And the next day, like I had so much fluid in my legs, I couldn't even walk, man. Like, and that lasted for like a week. It felt like my legs were going to bend backwards every time I took a step. So that messed me up. And then from the weight training, that's kind of when I went backpacking, and during backpacking, I suppose I got into some bad habits. Really, I wasn't really keeping fit. I was,
Yeah.
you know, I'm always quite active. Like I always like swimming and just like being active in general. But
Yeah.
I was drinking a lot. I got into smoking pot quite a lot.
Did you?
Yeah, which was a bad habit. Which I've only kicked like I haven't had a drink or anything since I started doing these burpees since
Really?
March this year. So
So March this year.
yeah, so all
Good
the
for
time
you, man.
backpacking, I wasn't really healthy. I was just having a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, up until March this year, I've made a big change.
Awesome.
Um,
And with that change, what have you noticed about yourself? Sorry, because I find that really interesting for you, and thank you for sharing that too, bro. Very private, very personal stuff there.
Yeah.
But how have you found, and what changes, if any, have you noticed in yourself?
um,
Not just physically, but yeah, physically and or mentally. And
yeah. Well, um, I think like it. I've got nothing like against
Mm,
loads of people do it and it's fine, but again, it's that obsession thing. Like I don't know where I wanted to get with it, but like it was
yeah.
just too much, man, and it was just encroaching on everything, just taking over really. So
Yeah.
stopping it, I found that I've become more confident, more stable. You know, just
Yeah.
my emotions are much more stable. I've become a lot more responsible. So it's weird, like coming off of it. Like for 2 weeks, I was kind of all over the place, just
Yeah.
kind of getting it out my system, and like having really mad dreams and stuff. Like it shows how much it does affect you.
Yeah.
Well, at least me anyway. I can't talk for anybody else.
Yeah.
And now I just feel a lot more capable of things. Like there's no anxiety. Like there was always this kind of impending doom feeling.
Yeah. Right. So was it a bit of an
Like
escape
a
that
paranoia,
time?
I suppose.
Yeah.
It
Okay.
was like a constant paranoia. It was constant. You kind
Yeah.
of, it just becomes your reality. And until it's all out of your system, you sort of think, what was I worried about? Like, what was I anxious about?
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can just get on with stuff. You know, I don't feel like I'm worried about anything. So I feel
Awesome.
a lot more free. Yeah.
Free. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got the
Nice.
monkey off my back, you know, so to speak.
Wicked, man. That's great to hear.
But continuing with my
Yeah.
the sort
Go.
of training, yeah. So since March, like becoming a dad and just wanting to be a better man, a better person. I met a guy up here in Jigai too, and he's a father. He's like 10 years older than me, and I just kind of looked up to him, and he's into jiu-jitsu, and he showed me burpees. Like him and his son do at least 100 burpees a day or more, and
Yeah.
they do them with like one pump and then a jumping jack.
Yep.
And he told me like, yeah, like we do 100 a day, and I was like, 100? That's fucking mental. Like, how do you do 100? And I started trying, and you know, there's that obsession again. It's like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to do 100. So I constantly be pushing myself, and before long, I was doing 100 pretty easily, and you know, I was super impressed with myself. I was like, yeah, I can do 100 burpees. Like, that's crazy. Like, not many people can do that. And then I go online, and of course, I see Iron Wolf, because like you type in burpees online, and Iron Wolf pops up. And I saw what he was doing, and then I saw the April challenge coming up,
Yeah.
like the whole month of April. And I was like, cool, I'm gonna do that. And I said to my wife, like, this is what I want to do. Can you please just like, I'll get on with all my jobs. I won't neglect anything, but I've got to do this. Like, and she was like always supportive. So
Awesome.
she said, yeah, get it done. So I tried to do the advanced one as much as I could, but
Yep.
on busier days when I just didn't have the time, I would do the intermediate one. But I was like, I'm not doing the beginner one. No.
Yeah.
I can already do 100 burpees. Why would I do a beginner one? And that was awesome. Like I impressed myself with it, you know, and I got better as the month went on too.
Yeah.
And
I bet.
at the end of that month, I thought, why not start filming myself too and just put it online. Don't cost me anything. I'll just see what happens. And I think.
When did you start filming yourself? In April?
I think.
Or was it after the challenge?
Yeah, it was after the challenge.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
so it's
yeah,
around March, time. Yeah, I started filming myself. I think the first video was like 300 burpees unbroken, I believe.
Nice.
And yeah, it's just grown from there. And then, you know, I've kind of met the burpee community and how supportive everyone is, and learned loads about it. And here we are now.
Awesome. That's a great. What was the name of the father and the son that, if you wanted to mention them, that introduced you, by the sounds of things, to the burpee?
His name's Brendan Lowe.
Brendan Lowe. Shout out Brendan Lowe.
Yeah, shout out Brendan Lowe and Paddy.
and now, sorry, and Paddy, did you say?
Paddy's his son, yeah.
His son. Brendan Lowe and Paddy, you have created a monster in Tony Irvine. Irvine.
Yeah, I was always brought up with it's Irving. But
Irving.
It's written Irvine, so I think it is Irvine, and my parents just preferred Irving and just told me it was Irving. But
and who is your favorite? Who did you grow up being your favorite basketball player?
I always like Penny Hardaway.
Penny Hardaway,
yeah.
Right? How old are you?
34.
34, Penny Hardaway. And what are you currently weighing in at, mate? What, 60 kilos, 65?
I'm always around 67, 68.
67, 68.
Yeah.
Man.
I think as I put muscle on, I lose fat and vice versa. So I've never really moved out of that range there.
That range.
Yeah.
Work it. Penny Hardaway. All right. 34, around 67, 68 kilos. Irving. We'll run with that because that's what the parents have told you. So.
Irving. All right. Just Irv.
Irv. Yeah. Tone Irv. And the music stuff. So I just wanted to touch back on that before delving more into this training stuff, and I'll run through some more of Lee's questions. But the music that you play, because is that your own stuff that you're just working on in terms of instrumental musical stuff, or is it stuff that you listen to and then you just try to replicate?
No, I do that for practice, but I've never really been one to learn other people's songs. I like jazz. When it comes to playing guitar and stuff, I like jazz music, and I just always wanted to be able to just pick up a guitar and just improvise. So that's kind of what I work on. On SoundCloud, I've got a bunch of electronic songs, mostly kind of like hip hop stuff.
Can you what is that link for your SoundCloud?
I think it's just Tony Irving.
So Tony with the Y?
Yeah, I think if it's just Tony Irving, SoundCloud. I always put it on every YouTube video in the description.
It's in the description?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. I'll make sure I grab that as well and put that in our description from here. So, all right, I'm going to jump into Lee's, some of his other questions. So this is one of his favorite questions. Who are your top 3 burpee practitioners?
Oh,
and you're not allowed to say Lee has it either. Lee's not allowed to be one of them.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, well, I'd say Burpee Zikram at the moment.
Definitely, man. That guy's a machine. Burpee Zikram.
I've got my eye on Chiba, the Dutch guy, at the moment.
Oh yeah. Nice, yeah.
Yeah, he's impressing me, man. He's non-stop.
He's awesome, and I love all his the handstand stuff in that as well. He does the flags, and oh man, it's incredible.
I told him I'm going to start doing that, but I don't know, man.
Oh, look out! Here's going to be another obsession.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's what you seen awesome. Do the human flag where he kind of like step down.
Yeah, and then his legs just like kicking out as he's coming down.
It's nuts.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And oh man, I suppose James Bruce. When I see a James Bruce video, I usually get itchy to get back in the gym.
Yeah. Yeah, I reckon that guy's a machine as well. That's awesome. That's a great list of people. Burpee Zikram. How did you say Gastra's first name?
Jibba, yeah.
Jibba Gastra from the Netherlands, and James Bruce, the other Scottish machine. out there. So, man, great list. He's got here, so this is from Lee. He wants to know, how do you feel about your increase in subscribers thanks to him discovering and nurturing you?
I mean,
It's written in here in his message.
I'm just so grateful, you know. Where would I be without Lee?
There you go, Lee.
Yeah, just thanks, Lee.
Thanks. Thank you, Lee. That's his head, and his head is just going to be exploding right now.
I mean, it's lovely. It's really, you know, it feels nice to get. I tried not to pay. I said I'm not going to pay any attention to likes and subscribers and stuff. I'm just going to put my workouts there, but then
whatever happens, right?
Yeah, but then Lee's got me talking more to the camera, and it's becoming more of a thing now. So, and you can't escape it, man. Like when you see that notification bell, and you get like you just get that little dopamine hit. It's like yes, another one. So
yes,
it feels good, you know. People tell me they're inspired and it's motivating, so that's what it's all about, you know.
Wicked. And it's a great way to give not only a little bit of yourself, but to give to others in terms of helping, whether that's motivation, whether that's inspiring them. With I read the comments that people leave on your videos, and it's been great to see, because you do motivate and inspire a whole bunch of us, including myself and Lee.
Yeah, I mean, that's same with you guys, you know. The whole community inspired me, so. Yeah,
it's a great community, all right. What is, this is from Lee again, what's your favourite burpee variation, Tone? Like combination or variation, or what would that be? Anything come to mind?
I really like doing, whether it's a 1 pump or a 2 pump mixed with a pull-up. I really like that coming straight up to the bar, and doing the pull-up.
Nice. Yeah, that's great, because I noticed when we saw one of your videos with the muscle ups and stuff outside, I think you had the bar in between the trees or something.
Yeah, because I couldn't do muscle ups on my rack at the time without my head. So there's some nice scenery out there too. So
definitely, no, that's awesome. And do you actually, this was one that both Lee and I had. Lee just put it down. Do you film all of your workouts that you do during a day? Because it seems to me like you must train 2, 3, maybe more sometimes throughout the day.
Yeah, no, I don't film all of them. I've been doing Navy SEALs a lot recently. Since I saw Burpees do those 100 Navy SEALs in like 8 minutes something.
8 minutes, yeah.
I was like, I've just got to keep doing Navy SEALs until I'm at least close to that. Man. So
what are you hitting at the moment? What was it, 10 minutes something? Or...
no, 11 is like 11 seconds is where it's at.
Man, that is flying. It's fast.
Yeah.
Okay, then, so, what was your answer with regards to... Oh, no, so you don't film all the workouts. You're doing a lot of Navy SEALs and stuff at the moment. Yeah. I noticed you have, and I like how you incorporate your weights and stuff as well. So how are you finding that for you in terms of incorporating, whether it's barbells or other body weight movements? How are you finding your recovery? How are you finding it transfer in terms of you either getting faster or stronger or whatever in your normal burpee sessions? Is there much that you're noticing either physically by incorporating those?
Yeah, I do notice an increase in strength. Like once you've put the weights down or taken the weight vest off, like my body just feels light as a feather.
Light, yeah.
So there's I'm faster than I was. But I think doing a lot of the overhead stuff, like my lower back.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing too heavy, and that like it hasn't put me out of the game, but like I can feel it. So
feel it.
I've been doing like some movements just for my lower back to strengthen.
Yeah. Nice.
But, overall, I feel it's making me stronger, and it's just fun as well, you know, because just doing burpees all the time, and it gets it gets boring for me. So I see you lifting the weights too, and I just think, it looks cool, man. Like
it's good to break it up, I find.
Yeah. You got good technique with your weightlifting, eh?
Thank you.
Try it easy.
I wish it felt easy. Hey, I wanted to ask, so that's great that Oh man, I remember I remember the son's name Paddy, and the surname was Lowe.
Oh
What
yeah,
was his first name?
Brendan Lowe.
Brendan Lowe.
Yeah.
What? So they obviously helped you or showed you, and then you went, "What? That's nuts!" And now you're cracking out 500 Navy SEALs with squat chasers and all that sort of stuff. What advice would you give? How would you go about advising somebody that's just starting out in the game in terms of wanting to get in this calisthenics burpee train sort of thing? What tips would you give them? What would be some of your top tips?
Um, just well, you have to just start doing it, really, man. Like I'd say, as soon as you get up in the morning, have your coffee maybe, and then just start pumping out some burpees.
All right.
Don't overdo it, you know, but just start doing what you can, and then the next day maybe add another one or another two. And just every day try to just better yourself just a little bit, and then it just becomes easier. Like I say, that first 100 you hit, you just feel like wow, I can't believe I did that, you know. And then
Awesome.
before you know it, 100's just a warm up, and so
Yeah.
you just
How
gotta,
long did it?
yeah,
Oh,
go on.
sorry, go. No, you go. You just gotta. So I've got just
Yeah.
get started in the morning, do what you can, and just be consistent with it every day. Try and add on 1 or 2 reps, wherever you're at.
Yeah.
Sorry,
And I say in the morning too, because one, like your stomach's empty, so you're gonna. Well, anyway, I feel lighter.
Yeah.
That you haven't got time to procrastinate or think about it. You're gonna get up and you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna get on with your day. So
Nice.
you don't give you time to and ah about it, you know, make excuses. So
Yeah. Wicked. And how long did it take you, Tone, to? Do you remember over what sort of time frame it took you before you hit your first 100 unbroken, or did you do it straight away?
yeah, it didn't take that long, to be honest.
A couple of sessions or one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Probably just-
Maybe it took a week or so. I don't remember how long it took, but I remember being
You
like
can tell the
super
truth,
gassed.
you know. You can say you just did it in your first go. It's all right.
Yeah, I did it straight away, to be honest. Mate.
I thought so.
No, it was quick, but I was gassed. Like I remember, like feeling sick afterwards, you know. But
But then feeling good, eh?
Yeah.
Pretty good. Chuffed with yourself with
yeah,
hitting
and
it,
then
'cause that's a huge
it
milestone.
just made me want to get healthier too. Like because I was still smoking and that then, and having the
Wow.
occasional beer and stuff, and
Yeah.
and the more I did, the more I thought, well, you know, if I quit this smoking and I
Yeah.
don't drink at all, and like I minimise my chocolate eating because I love chocolate
Yeah,
and things
same.
like that, like you just get better and better, you know, and you feel better, and yeah, so
Yeah,
it all
nice.
just rolls like that.
Yeah, and I agree. I love what you're saying there, because then also probably from the financial perspective as well, you're saving, and that can go towards, you know,
man.
whether that's the more renovations or another guitar or the kids or the wife or, you know, just
Yeah, I'd like you make a good point there, because like apart from I bought a kettlebell the other day. I actually bought that off Brendan. But
Awesome.
I don't want anything, you know.
Yeah.
I just love doing burpees and just keeping fit, and I don't give
Yeah.
a shit. Like my wardrobe's minimal. Like I wear the same
Yeah.
clothes all the time. On my
Yeah, on the
videos,
videos.
probably, so
I was
I ain't got nothing, you know. Like so, yeah, man. It's just it all becomes about health and fitness and feeling good, and you don't need all that shit to make you feel good, you know.
Awesome, man. Great comments. And yeah, nice and simple. Just like the burpee is such a simplistic movement with so many benefits.
Yeah.
So is, you know, you don't need to be wearing all the flash gear. I think it was Lee that mentioned anybody caught wearing shark gear or whatever it is, Gymshark. Gymshark gear. We're going to be banned or null and voided from the community, I think, from him.
Yeah. I know how he feels about that. That's
Hey, I diverted. I've got some more of his questions here.
yeah, cool.
Have you got a favorite weight training program that you follow or like to use, or is it pretty much just off the cuff?
Yeah, well, I like doing bench, squat, deadlift, which I
Nice.
thought was called like the big three, but
Yeah.
I've learned that that's like not exactly it. Like it depends on how many reps you do and how many sets you do and stuff like that. But so I don't follow the big three schedule properly, but
Yeah.
I like doing those exercises in that order. Doing
Yeah,
the bench
nice.
first.
Yeah.
And I usually build the weights up and then drop them back down again.
Yeah.
I do that for the bench and the squats, and then with the deadlift, I just build it up to as heavy as I can go. then
Nice.
I called it quits.
Awesome. Would you mind sharing? I don't often. I think from memory we asked Max what his numbers were because he was doing a lot of powerlifting and stuff at the time. Not that you're doing
Yeah.
powerlifting. I don't think you are. But what are you squatting at the moment? What's your like for say a 1 rep or a 3 rep max on a squat?
Yeah, not much to be honest. The most I've done is probably 100, and just
Right.
the 1 rep.
That's a lot of weight to shift at 67 kilos.
Yeah, yeah. And I think if I had someone spotting me, I might have the courage to just go a little bit
Go a little bit
further.
more. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
that's about it. And
Yeah.
that was a struggle. It's not something I do regularly. I usually
Yeah.
stick to around. I'll probably go up to about 80 or 90.
80.
Yeah.
Yep. What about your deadlifting? How's the deadlifting going?
Yeah, deadlift. Probably what I think I can't really go much further than 130 with the weights that I've got.
With the weights that you've got, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So about 130.
That's awesome.
One rep,
Strong,
yeah.
man. And have you been tracking how your bench is going?
Yeah, my bench is consistent with my squat. Like,
Yeah, right.
I feel, I think you should be able to squat more than your bench, right? Is that common?
Yeah. I think so too, but I could be wrong. I'm no expert.
Yeah, but yeah, my bench is the same as my squat. So
Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. Awesome. Still, that's a heck of a lot of weight to be shifting bench press wise at 67 kilos, in my opinion, anyway. Cool. All right, there's that one. Oh, yeah, you already spoke about how you ended up in Australia with all the travel and meeting your partner and then back, and then her dad, well, she had 2 passports and all that sort of stuff, so that's cool. Now, this is a typical Lee Hazard question. Brace yourself. Do you, Tone Irv, do you have beard envy whenever you watch Lee Hazard's videos?
of course I do. It's all I can think about. All I can think about. I try growing it, but it's never going to match. It's never going to compete with Lee, so I end up just shaving it off in shame.
Well, he said he started growing his in his 40s, so he's 43 now as well. I think he's same age as me, just a few months younger. But he started growing it, I think this year. I think he said, or February, maybe it was February last year or February this year, something like that. So you've still got plenty of time.
Yeah, I mean it's a beautiful thing, isn't it?
Not really, I don't think so. But any chance to try to rip into him a little bit, I'm going to always take it. And his last question that he's got in here from his side is: have you noticed any big changes in your physique? Because Lee's all about the physique and getting jacked. Have you noticed any big changes in your physique and fitness since you started a YouTube channel?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've definitely lost some fat. I saw a picture of myself like at the beginning of the year, and
Right.
man, it just was like, oh, you know, what was I doing?
Who's that guy?
Yeah, I thought I looked all right. I thought at the time I was like, I still look good, you know. I'm not even working out. But yeah, no, I've leaned up a little bit, put on some muscle,
Yeah.
and like my fitness. Yeah, like another thing I don't record is I've been running 10 kilometers regularly,
Wow.
and I'm trying to get it at 40 minutes. My best is like 40, just under 45 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And I never would have thought I could do that before.
Awesome.
So I've been doing that, and that's that proves that I've definitely gotten fitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the
And so-
lifestyle and that as well. You know, just my
Yeah.
lungs feel big and clear, and yeah.
That's great, mate. I reckon you'd have quite a number of people, myself included, because you're, and I mean this respectfully, so you're at home with the little fella, right?
Yeah.
Well, your wife is working, and then she'll go on. I'm assuming she'll go on maternity leave soon. Then he's welcome in the second,
Yeah, and then
which is awesome.
Then I'm going back to work.
Oh, then you're going back to while she's at home with the little ones. So you're going to go back into the childcare sector.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. That's cool. Very cool.
So I've got a little bit more renovating to do. And, I've got to get that done before I go back to work, I suppose. So, yeah.
No, that's awesome. Do you think what challenges do you think, if any, do you think that will pose to like? Are you going to be planning out your day, do you think, a little bit more with the training and stuff because you'll be back at work?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm going to
Yeah.
wake up earlier, I suppose, and
Yeah.
we'll just go to bed later. But
Yeah.
there's always time, you know. You
Yeah.
just got to find it. And I always feel once you start moving, once you're committed to doing it, it don't feel that bad, you know. And you always feel good afterwards.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you know what it's like having kids. Like sleep just
Yeah.
goes out the window. It's just like you just forget about sleep. So I'm not really bothered about that. It feels good to do the workout. It feels terrible when you miss it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll just do what I can, man. I'll still get it in.
Awesome. Actually, that's a great point. What happens to you? What's been the longest where you've maybe missed training, like consecutive days? I'm talking about. I'm not talking about I haven't trained in the last hour. So
Yeah.
over consecutive days, how long can you think of a time? How long that's been, and how did that make you feel? What
Um,
started happening?
I don't think I've missed a
Oh, you
day
haven't.
since March. Yeah,
Wow, awesome. Oh, that's
yeah.
good. All right. How do you think you would react if you missed a day?
Um, yeah, I wouldn't like it very much. I'd probably be talking about it all the time, you know, just
And
bugging
then
my
your wife
wife
would just
about
take
it.
it. Yeah, she'd be like, "Get away, just go and train,
Yeah.
and then come back when you're done."
But you know what? Like, even when you've got a really tight schedule, like if I might do some squats while I'm doing like cooking dinner, like I do some hill raises or something, you know, just knock out a few burpees here and there in mid conversation.
That
Like,
yeah, that's
yeah,
hard case, man. That's awesome.
yeah. So I'll probably just do that, just be sporadic with it, and just
Yeah,
yeah.
I would love. It would be great. You do that when you go back to work. They'll be like, "What's this? What's he doing?" Do
I will,
you
man.
do
Because
your work colleagues know, and have they seen your channel?
yeah, they have.
Right,
And I'll be in a preschool with like 4 and 5-year-olds. So
right, yeah, yeah.
when I used to work there, I used to get the mats out and get them wrestling each other and stuff. And they've got like a bunch of pull-up bars and stuff there too. So I reckon
Awesome.
I could get a good workout in
I
whilst
I reckon you
on
will.
the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the kids will be loving it too. They'll be wanting to try to do the same thing.
Yeah, I'll get them doing burpees for sure. Yeah.
It's unfortunate. You just more than likely, I'm assuming, wouldn't be able to film those with them because the privacy and all that sort of stuff, which is all good.
Yeah.
But they're gonna have
Oh,
fun.
yeah. I won't be able to put it on YouTube and that, but for the families,
Yeah.
like they've got an online thing.
Oh,
And watch what
nice.
they've been up to. Maybe we can like
Yeah.
recite the alphabet while doing burpees or something.
And then do the alphabet backwards
Yeah,
while doing the
it's a challenge.
burpees.
Yeah,
Correct. Well, that's a hard case because we're flat out trying to get Lee to be able to keep count when he's doing his burpees,
Oh.
counting out a 6 count.
it's hard though, isn't it? Like that JC challenge, man. That just that's so.
That was
difficult. Yeah, just
yeah.
the counting part was the hardest part for me.
And it was so easy to go from, like, you do a 6 count burpee, you stand up, you say 1, you do the squat 1. I found it really easy to do the 10 count Navy SEAL and stand up and say 2 and then do,
Yeah.
but it's still only 1.
Yeah, I actually it don't really make much sense, but I just wrote 1 to 50 on a piece of paper and stuck that on the wall in front of me, just so I could focus on like what rep I'm on. But even that didn't work. By the time I got 40 something, I just lost it. Yeah.
That was a great challenge though. And it's been great to see the other ones. Oh, even the one that you did of Lee's, the one that James Bruce, I
Spartan.
think, named the Spartan 100. Man, yeah, that was a tough challenge, but awesome, incredible time, and to see your effort and work that you put in there. So are you still playing basketball? Do you like casually get together with a few friends, whatever? I know it's been hard with the pandemic, but
Yeah, no, not at all, man.
no?
I haven't played for ages. No.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's a great sport though, yeah.
Yeah, it is. Maybe my son will get into it. There is a basketball court up the road as well, actually. So
Yeah.
maybe he'll get into it and that'll dust me off and get me back into it. Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. What about your future plans or intentions with regards to your training objectives and goals? Have you got some specific goals in mind in terms of what you want to perhaps hit or achieve or do or attempt before Christmas this year or by Christmas this year? Anything jump out to you?
Loads of things to be honest, but a few is
Yeah.
I want to run the 10 kilometers in 40 minutes or
40
under.
minutes.
I want to get more comfortable with 100 kilograms. on
Nice.
the bench and the squat and that. And
Yeah.
I want to get faster at the Navy SEALs. That's a few things I want to do.
Work it. And are your plans with those? Are you wanting to try to hit all of those before this Christmas, or just within sort of the next 2 months, 3 months?
Yeah, I ain't really put a time frame on it, man. Like,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I mean, it's getting busy at the moment as well, and with the new
I was
baby
gonna
coming.
say.
There's a lot of other stuff going on. So, but they're things that I think about, and I'll get there when I get there.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. That's cool. I love that you've shared that piece as well. You'll get there when you get there, because I think, well, at least for me, and be interested to hear your thoughts. Sometimes having a time frame on stuff can create, at least in my case anyway, some added pressure and stress to a degree around it.
Yeah.
When, like Lee was saying, I do burpees for fun. Like, it's the JC challenge is near fun, because he has to count.
Yeah.
So I like how you've shared there. Yeah, you've got these goals in mind, the 10Ks under 40 minutes, the Navy SEALs and under 10 and all that sort of stuff. But I like how, that you don't have to have a specific time frame in mind. Don't get me wrong, that's time frames help, and they can actually help force us to grow and push beyond what we think we're capable of. But I like how you've shared that, because I think, well, at least for me and a lot of people I find in this community, are probably more sitting in and around that. I'll get there when I get there, as long as I turn up each day, I put in the work, I'm consistent, and like Jared Miller was saying, over time, the results will eventually come. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I sort of go in between both, because I suppose it depends what I'm focusing on and what I've been inspired by. Like, I like to listen to David Goggins a lot. Do you know David Goggins?
Yeah.
So when I listen to him, I just think, just suffer, fucking suffer.
Yeah.
Just,
Callous the mind.
Yeah. So then I can get like right into that mind state and just put myself through it, and won't stop until I'm done. And I have his voice in my head often shouting at me. But then sometimes I can get a bit more chill about it and try to just enjoy it a bit more. So it is a bit of a balance there, So because when I'm mindset is an obsession again, and I probably neglect my family more and my responsibilities more than I should, because I'm just dead focused on that. But I can't keep that up, because I'll lose everything. So, and I'll piss off my family. So sometimes I have to just relax a little bit and just remember to enjoy it, and get some other stuff done. But I like both.
Yep, nice. And can I ask, aside from music and playing the guitar, what else do you like to do to relax and de-stress?
Oh, relax.
Or do you? Because you don't look very relaxed right now.
I don't really relax that much, to be honest. We've got a nice bath, and occasionally I'll have a bath.
Do you? Okay, yeah. I was going to say,
I like playing with my son. I like just watching him, and like kids are just awesome. I love being around kids, because it just reminds me of like a world that I've forgotten about as I've grown up. Like they see all the magic and everything. Yeah, I love being reminded of that, and just watching him. Yeah, it's just like that relaxes me. I could just watch him all day.
That's beautiful, man.
Yeah,
that's great. So good to hear.
Yeah.
And how about, if you don't mind, what has been a particular difficult or particularly difficult challenge that you've had to overcome in terms of your own growth and progression? Could be anything. Doesn't need to be anything to do with burpees. As you know, we've had Sam on recently, spoke about the difficult and sad loss of his brother. We've had Body by Burpees on, who shared the sad loss of their young child as well. I think it was their young daughter from memory. But what I've found, and reason why, just to give you some context, reason why I ask you this question, there may be nothing, and that's fine. But it's been interesting from Lee and my perspective to try to connect with the individual. Like, it's great. Like, you're a machine in burpees. Everybody, like, we know that, and we have no problem saying that. And you inspire both Lee and I, and many of us in this community, through the work that you do, Tone. That's not to, try to pump or toot your horn or beat your own drum for you, but it is genuine. Like that's what we see.
Thanks, man.
But I guess from hearing these other little aspects and stuff about people's lives, like you shared some of the into pot and drinking and that sort of thing. But what has been, if anything, like a difficult challenge for you that you've found that you've needed to overcome, in your life?
Yeah. So, like, I've been pretty fortunate in my life, I suppose. But
Cool.
I suppose it must have been nearly 2 years ago. I'll make a long story short, but my mum went through a divorce and eventually found a boyfriend, and they got on really well together and bought a house and started renovating the house and everything was good. And before too long, her boyfriend got melanoma cancer and died pretty shortly after. And I'm over in Australia, you know, so and we haven't got any family over here, so I'm kind of disconnected from it a bit. And then my mum found another boyfriend later on, though, you know, like time had passed, and but it wasn't really settled, and she wanted a kind of new lease of life, and she was going to come and live over here, and my boy was just a baby at the time, so I thought, that's great, you know, to have Nan around and everything.
That's it.
It just weren't right, and I weren't right in my headspace. My mum wasn't, I suppose. And we had kind of a bit of an argument one day, and I left and came back home, and then a few days later I got a text from her boyfriend saying, your mum's back home in England, just letting you know. And I was like, oh shit, like, you know, I couldn't believe she just left without saying bye or anything.
Yeah, same here.
I haven't really spoken to her properly since, and that was one of the motivators as well, to really self-reflect and make myself just a better person, you know. And that's why I quit all the stupid shit and wanted to know, like, you know, I'm okay, I'm a good person, like, you know, because I was just blaming myself about everything, and maybe it was all my fault. I still don't really know, to be honest, but so that's one thing that's...
Man, thank you so much for sharing that. It's
you know, these bad things, bad things are always going to happen. Like, life is going to be tragic for everybody at some point. Yeah. But you can make it worse or you can make it better, you know, and whatever you do, whatever happens to you, you have a choice whether to rise above it and make it a motivator, or to let it just bring you down and suffer. So, and that's kind of like these burpees, you know, like, that's the point of suffering. Put yourself through the suffering so that you get good at it. So when the tragic shit does happen, you're not just going to cower away. Like, you can stand up and take it. Can persevere and be resilient. That, man, I love that. You have a choice. I love those words that you've just shared in the context of the situation with your family, and appreciate you sharing that, brother, because it's not something that, you know, males in particular, I find, like, because I'm myself, I put in that category in terms of being quite reserved and keeping stuff to myself and bottling stuff up. But really appreciate you sharing that, and just sort of, I guess, organically, it's just sort of led to people being open enough and hopefully trusting us enough and the community that it's such a supportive one. I saw your comments and stuff to Sam, and there's been just so much support. And so I'm really grateful to be part of this community, and to see you and to have you as part of the community Thanks,
as somebody to look up to and try to aspire to be like one day when I grow up.
Oh, man, you're killing it, man. I look up to you.
That's only because I have more grey hair and I'm older. No, but mate, it's been an absolute privilege to have you on. Actually, one more question comes to mind. Siblings? Have you got any siblings?
Yeah, I've got an older brother. He's in England.
So just you and your older brother?
Yeah. And
he's in the UK?
Yeah.
All right. What does he do?
He's a scaffolder.
You get him to do some burpees as well?
I'm trying. Yeah, he does go down the gym, but he's more into lifting weights and stuff. Yeah, but I've been saying, check out my channel, you know, like, I'm giving him challenges, but he's a busy guy.
Yeah, okay. Has he Is he taller than you?
Yeah, he's taller, he's bigger. I've always
Oh,
been
is
the
he?
smallest in my family. Like,
Oh, right.
yeah, it's
Okay.
probably another reason why I want to push a bit harder to, small man syndrome or whatever you call it.
Nah, mate. Well, you are at where you're at, and mate, you're an absolute legend and a machine. There's a testament to that in terms of the comments that come through that I read on your videos, and the content that you put out there. There's probably no point in asking you this question because I reckon you'll know. The Glasgow Rangers play what sport?
Football?
Damn, yes, they do.
Oh,
Let me ask you this question. This is the most important question. What is your favorite podcast?
oh well, it's got to be Move, Sweat, Suffer.
Yes, we're 100% so far. We're just waiting for the person that's going to name some other podcasts, probably like the Joe Rogan Show or something like that, which is much more better than ours.
Check out Andrew Huberman.
Andrew
Huberman.
Huberman. How do I spell that surname?
Huberman. I think.
M-A-N. Andrew Huberman.
Huberman. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna check that out.
He's a scientist, and he will just give you loads of tips on all sorts of stuff: nutrition,
All right.
health, fitness, mind state, everything.
Sounds good, man. I'll do that, and we'll give you some feedback. But mate, thank you so much for making time for us today, for both Lee and I. Again, Lee sends his apologies that he couldn't be here, but we look forward to having you back on again later on down the track. Probably you would have smashed those goals by then, and we can talk about those. And Lee will be here next time instead of not being here. But appreciate you, Tone. Thank you very much for the content that you put out, for the example that you set for us in this community. And we wish you nothing but continued success, bro, with everything that you're doing with not only your family, so the impending new coming daughter in February next year.
Yep.
Ongoing with your son, who's a little legend, and to see him out there training next to you, and just get that dog out of the road every now and then when it likes to jump in there and hog the camera.
Yeah, I'll try my best with that.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, man.
All good, brother. You're welcome. Our privilege and honour to have you on, mate. Take care and all the very best.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
See you, mate.